Hey, so if you want to join our 5-day challenge, click on the link below or go to smarteronlinesafety.com and sign up. And by the way, because hackers can use so many free tools to even make an AI deepfake of me, never go anywhere except smarteronlinesafety.com or on the links of my official channels because hackers would also love to impersonate me to get you to click on a bad link. So here's your first tip on how to stay safe. Only go to my official channel and my official website, smarteronlinesafety.com. Sign up for the 5-day challenge and we're going to have fun. If you didn't think cybersecurity could be fun, you're in for a surprise. It's empowering and it's even going to be a little entertaining. And we're going to take the hoodie off the hacker so you know what you're dealing with. And we're going to give you the tools that you already have that you can stay 20 times safer than you are right now. See you there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Smarter Online Safety Podcast. I'm your host, Jocelyn King, the Queen of Online Safety, and we are observing National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And so I want to have this episode be all about talking to you about what the current state is of this AI cybercrime tsunami that's already at your door. It's already here and it's been here for a while, but it's going to be getting worse. And a lot of people are going to be getting swept up, and I don't want you to be one of them. So let's talk about it. What is going on? So, I'm sure as you're listening, you use AI. Well, first of all, you have AI in about 100 apps on your phone already, whether you're directly using a chat GPT or a Gemini or anything. But the majority of people are using the chat AI, chat GPT and other AI apps, and you're familiar with them. And they're amazing. I mean, look at them. They can help you craft an email that's really important. They can help you prepare for an important interview or a presentation or a pitch, or they can help you put together your strategy. They can even help you figure out your life goals, vision, and mission statement. But they're also helping cyber criminals craft the emails that look legitimate that are coming into your inbox, craft those texts and attachments that are coming into your phone. And so everybody's getting confused because gone are the days when you could catch that little typo or go, that doesn't quite look professional, or that doesn't look like a real invoice, and you could spot it. At least you could spot a lot of it. Well, it's inverse now. It's hard and much harder to spot any of that now. And it's going to be increasingly hard. And it's even going to be hard to spot whether a video call you're getting from a family member, loved one, old friend is really them. It is so lifelike, and hackers can create it. I created an AI digital twin of myself, and it takes no time, and it is amazingly accurate. And it can fool family members, not just strangers. So this is coming. So you've got to protect yourself from people getting through to you. I want the enormity of this, I can't overstress. Cybercrime right now is a $10.5 trillion annual economy. If cybercrime were a country, it would be the world's third largest economy after only the US and China. Think about that. It's bigger than all but two countries on the planet in terms of $10.5 trillion and growing. And every 2 seconds, three more victims have had their data breached and stolen so that it's easier to get to them. It's easier to take advantage of them. And it's easier to even take advantage of them without going directly to them by social engineering their accounts and the companies they do business with. And most people are woefully behind. I mean, think about it. When you were growing up, you learned, no matter where you grew up in the world, you're taught how to look both ways before crossing a street, or how not to take candy or gifts from strangers, or get in a car with a stranger. We all have these things that we're taught that just become second nature. But Most people did not grow up on the internet, and even those who aren't being taught what to do and not do because I work on helping a lot of children. I help the parents know how to protect their kids. So we didn't learn these things, but you got to learn them now. It's not too late. It's never too late. It is too late to start if you keep pushing it off till tomorrow instead of doing it today. And most people don't get started because they don't know where to start. It's like, well, I want to, nobody wants to learn cybersecurity. I mean, I'm a top 10 woman in cybersecurity, and I didn't want to learn cybersecurity. I had to because I got into it from having been hacked and losing so much, and it was so painful. But most people don't want to learn cybersecurity, and I don't blame you. But you do want to be safe online. And so that's why we're even called Smarter Online Safety, not Smarter Cybersecurity, because I don't want you to have to learn a lot of cybersecurity. I just want you to do a few changes and settings and put the tools in place that you need and activate the tools you already have that you haven't activated so that you can be smarter and safer online. And you're not bad with technology. Some of you are technologists. I live and work in Silicon Valley, and there's a lot of tech people here, far more than the average in other places. But no matter what your skill set is or how tech phobic you are, it's not that you're bad with technology. It's just nobody ever taught you digital self-defense. They never taught you what the equivalent of looking both ways before crossing the street was. But the good news is you already have the skills to know how to protect yourself online. If you know how to lock up your own house, if you lock your house at night or when you leave, what do? You go room by room, door by door, window by window, and you lock everything up. But online, you're not doing that because you can't see your online home, which I call your digital castle. And your digital castle defense system is taking the inventory of your devices, which are the gates to your castle, of your accounts and your passwords, which are the windows to your castle. And the big one, everybody's that I meet practically has their drawbridge down. And what is your drawbridge? It's your network, it's your Wi Fi and your router. So even if you're locking your device and updating the software on it and you're using unique passwords everywhere, most people fail the drawbridge test because they haven't updated their Wi Fi, they haven't downloaded their software. So you've got your drawbridge, and then you've got your moat. And what is your moat? Your moat is your habits. And the habits are what hardly anybody has good hygiene habits for cybersecurity, especially today. The exception being cybersecurity professionals. But average people are doing some things right, or many things right, or most things right, but they're still leaving themselves open. And it's that, think about your house. If you lock your front door, but you leave your back door unlocked or open, or you lock all your doors and windows and leave your garage door wide open, they only need that one way in. And the same is true online, and people aren't locking things up. And then they're wondering why they're getting hacked. So I really want you to take this to heart. And what I want to do today is I want to help you learn a habit that I want you to adopt for life. And you use this every time you're interacting with a text on your phone or an email that you're uncertain about, or you get that phone call and you're wondering if this is a scam. Is this really your bank? Is this really the government? All of that. You can use this method. I call it the safer method. I call it the safer method. SAFER. So let's go through it. So S, stop. Before you do anything, just stop, take 3 deep breaths, and because then you're going to assess. So what you're doing when you stop is you're actually calming your limbic system. What is your limbic system? That is your fight or flight in your midbrain. Because as soon as you're panicking a little or feel any kind of a threat, you go from your prefrontal cortex, which is where our laughter is, where our love is, where our thinking big picture is, where our caring about other people is, where our dreaming big things and helping make our lives better and other people's lives better. Everything great that was ever created happened right up here in your prefrontal cortex. You're not there when you're panicking. You're in your fight or flight response. You're going to, and it's great if you're hiking and there's a grizzly bear. That's what it's for. It's for the saber-toothed tiger that our ancestors faced. It is horrible against hackers because it gets you out of thinking smartly. I've met some of the smartest people you could ever meet. I know IQs over 140 and 150, and they've been hacked. So it's not about intelligence, it's about what part of your brain is getting activated when you are then taking action. So you want to stop and take some deep breaths and calm down and not take any actions. And then the A of safer is assess. You want to assess, well, what is this? You want to assess, okay, it looks like my bank is trying to contact me to get personal information from me, right? So then you're thinking, you want to assess that. Well, shouldn't they already have that information? Why are they texting me? Those things that would normally be red flags when you're in your prefrontal cortex, you want to start asking yourself, because that's going to guess what? That's how you get out of your fight or flight brain and into your prefrontal cortex is you start asking those kinds of questions and with calm breathing. And then you want to fact check. So, is this really your bank? You're not going to text them back and say, "Are you really my bank?" You're going to think, "I need to go call my bank." So, you've either got their phone number in your phone already, or if not, you want to find them online, but you want to be careful when you Google it, if you Google the bank, that you're not clicking on a sponsored link at the top because a lot of times those are purchased ads by hackers and they can get taken down within 24 hours or 48 hours, but they can do a lot of damage. And you don't want to be one of those people clicking on something that is not legitimate. They're using, let's say, Bank of America. Instead of taking you to bofa.com, they have Bank of America as a tag so that your search is bringing them up, but they're actually taking you to another website. Again, if you're in your fight or flight brain, you're not going to see it. So you want to go below the sponsored links into bofa.com, look at the URL and go, yes, that's my bank. Click on it and then call that number. Or, the back of your credit card or or anything that you have from them, call a known good number, get out of the text, get out of the email, get off the phone call, even saying, I'll need to call you back and get their name, asking for their name and what department they're in and all of that. Sometimes they'll just hang up if they're scammers. Other times they'll give you fake information and try to convince you not to call, not to hang up. So you just want to get the information and then call your bank and check. Over 95% of the time when people do this, they're told by their financial institution, no, that wasn't us, that was a scammer. And so that gut instinct is so important. So fact check by going to the right source. And then you want to execute. So in this case, execute is making the call to your known good bank. Or it could be that you need to set up, maybe you didn't have two-factor authentication set up on your bank account and you're like, okay, I have to do that now. They almost got through, or they did get through and we stopped it. So you need to execute the action that's going to make you safer. And then you want to reinforce that. You're going to think, okay, I didn't have two-factor authentication turned on there. Where else don't I have two-factor authentication? I have other financial accounts. I have email accounts that they could use to reset my email for the bank account. I'm going to reinforce the actions I just took at a wider level so I can avoid a lot more of this headache, heartburn, and risk in my future. So that's your stop, assess, fact check, execute, and reinforce, and that's safer. And if you adopt that as a method, and you can come to my website, smarteronlinesafety.com, and get a little cheat sheet on this, and we'll reinforce it for you. But just make that a habit. That is your look both ways before crossing the street. This is how you stop and assess before you click. And that, if you make that your habit, it's going to prevent so much. Most of the people who get scammed are from clicking on a link they shouldn't have clicked on, giving information over the phone they shouldn't have given, or following an action that's in that text message. Sometimes people will think, oh, I don't know if I trust this. I'm going to call my bank's phone number. And they're not leaving the text chat to go and look up the right number. They're calling the number that the scammers gave them. And I know it sounds obvious, but so many people do it. And it could easily happen to you because, again, you're not in your best thinking. You're in a state of panic. And so we do things that we wouldn't, under stress, that we wouldn't normally do. So that's what you want to do to protect yourself. And please share this with other people. Some of us when we were growing up learned stop, drop, and roll. If there's ever a fire, that's how, if your hair catches on fire, or you're in the kitchen, or there's a fire, or your clothes catch on fire. Stop, drop, and roll. That's how you prevent a fire. This is like stop, drop, and roll for your experience on the internet. Every time you get a text or an email or a phone call or anything suspicious or anything where you're thinking, why do they need my personal information? That should set off an alarm in your head. Then you do safer method. So thank you for that. If you get that out of this episode and you start adopting that now, you are so, so, so in line with everything we're trying to do as a cybersecurity industry for Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making your safety and internet safety a priority. And so please share this with someone you know so we can help reach more people. And if you like the video, please give us a like and subscribe so you can get future ones. And that will help our channel grow so we can share this information with other people. And until next time, stay safe out there.